Welcome back, Line of Wealth Club, to another Line of Wealth Club podcast coming to you during the week. We have some important things to talk about, like the economy, interest rates, and inflation rates, actually. But with that being said, make sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. We're close to the 1,000 mark. Let's get over that. That's one of our goals. Help us reach that goal and put that, at the end of us. But with that being said, also check out lineofwealthclub.com, where we have a bunch of different articles, mainly on financial stuff, politics, and some of our interviews. More articles will be to come. I haven't been putting too much time into that. I've been focused on growing the podcast and also having more capital to inject into the podcast. But with that being said, welcome back. And AZ's behind the scenes, like always. Just no mic still. We're gonna have to upgrade our wires soon, and we might do some upgrades to the studio. Who knows? But with that being said, let's get right into it. We just had today, August 5th, the stock market go down over 1,000 points within a day. Craziest thing we've ever seen. We've never seen that in history, not even in 2008 or 2000 or previous times before that. And it's causing the talks of an interest rate cut. Now, as a business owner, this is actually a good thing for us. It's a good thing for us investors. It's a good thing for us people that own assets, because when they cut the rates, assets appreciate, like stocks, cryptos, real estate, everything across the board will appreciate because everything gets more expensive because of a thing we don't like, inflation. When you cut the rates, essentially, you're pretty much lowering the cost to borrow money, right? So when you take out a car loan, a home loan, credit cards, or whatever it may be, anything that you're borrowing money, the cost to borrow that money is lowered, right, with the cutting the rate. When the rates are raised, that means that the cost to borrow that money is much higher. It's going to cost you a lot more. Now, this is why we're talking about that, because inflation is finally at a 3%. We have the economy not doing so well, and the stock market's actually a leading indicator of what's to come, right? So if the stock market's crashing right now, that means we should see an economical crash maybe in Q4 of 2024 or Q1 of 2025. Who knows? So why are we talking about this, right? Because of the fact that we just seen a stock market crash, something we haven't seen in a couple years. Now we have the Federal Reserve in the talks of cutting the rate. We haven't seen them cut the rate at all since, I believe, 2021 or 2022. They didn't cut it in 2023, and they haven't cut it this year. And what does this mean? So it pretty much means for us investors, us people that own real estate, that own stocks, cryptos, we're going to get richer. That's a good thing for us. But for the daily average Joe, average Jose out there, it's not that good. If you don't own assets, or if you're not invested into assets, we're only going to get inflation in the long run. And it's pretty much a boom and bust economy. And this is what actually I try to teach la raza and toda la gente que nos escucha allá en Line of Wealth Club, is that you can profit from boom and bust economies. You just got to time them. You got to know what to look for, and how to maneuver. And this is one of them. When you see a potential interest rate cut, this is when you want to be buying assets. Once again, not financial advice. Take risk at your own risk. And if you want to do any financial decisions, consult with a financial advisor. But going back to what I'm saying, when you know, or at least my strategy is, when I know there's an interest rate to come, I'm going to load up in all my assets if I haven't already been buying them. I'm going to double down on them, maybe add some of my savings on there, or, just hold patiently until they come back up. This is something we've seen in 2020 with the 2020 crash, where in a couple months, by the end of the year, everything was back up. Who knows? We might have a V-shaped recovery by election, right? Because we do have it is an election year, and the economy is always a major topic to talk about. Now, this is what we need to really focus on, is the Federal Reserve, right? The Federal Reserve's priority is to bring inflation down. Now, the way they have been bringing inflation down was by raising the rates. Now that inflation is at 3%, cutting the rate is in the talks, right? Adding money to the economy, letting the economy expand and grow is back on the table. Will they do it? Who knows, right? But if they do it, it'll be amazing. Now, in my own personal belief, I do think they're going to do it for two key reasons. One, the banks have over $517 billion in unrealized losses. $517 billion in unrealized losses, okay? And two, Americans are at an all-time for delinquencies, meaning people aren't paying their credit cards, they're not paying their loans, they're not paying things that they can't afford because of this high inflation cost of living. So, if I was the Federal Reserve, I'd more than likely cut the rate. Now, is it going to be a high one or a low one? Like I said on the Bull Room, I believe it's going to be right in that middle sweet spot just to start it back up, not lead us into a recession, but also, not cause inflation to just ramp back up right away. But if we do cut the rate, keep in mind inflation might go back up. And if we do cut the rate, assets will only get, higher. At the end of the day, if we cut it or if we don't, we're still fucked. Like we're still like there's no perfect way to get out of this situation. It's a boom and bust economy. All they're really trying to avoid is the end of America, because inflation is what kills countries. Recessions don't. Recessions are actually healthy indicators of a good economy, believe it or not. But with that being said, just something I want to put out there. If you have assets, you're gonna benefit, and if you don't, make sure to get some or do some research on some, because it's gonna be important in these next couple of years. I think 2025 is gonna be a life-changing year for myself, for the podcast, and for my boy Adrian too. I believe everyone that's been in my circle, with the knowledge we've been talking, with the topics we talk about, and the information that we share, I think we're going to benefit from a lot of things that are going to come. But I hope just all of you guys are on the same page, man. And, let's get this money. We started this podcast to better our community, to enrich our community, and to spread that financial literacy. And one of those things is talking about these current events, right? So now that we know, or that we expect a potential, interest rate cut, load up, not financial advice, take risk at your own risk, but I'm just saying. And again, I could be wrong. There's been times where I have been wrong. We've admitted that openly on the Bull Room, where we've made predictions and we were wrong, But out of the times that I've been right and out of the times I've been wrong, I can tell you right now, I've never lost money for being wrong. But with that being said, all money in, no money out. Stay dedicated, stay motivated, and we'll see you on the next one out of Wolf Club. So don't be a little bitch.